It is Monday, August 25th, 2025. This is another edition of Baseball Today presented to you by Mountain Dew. Looking for a refreshing citrusy kick this summer? Go grab yourself a Mountain Dew. We are reunited. That is my man Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose, producer Dan, intern Sawyer along for the ride as well. Shout out to Dalty for filling in on Friday and doing a bang-up job. Always love it when some of the other guys around the office get to talk a little shop.
Yeah, especially Dalton, because he is a certified ball knower. He kind of reminds me of a young Chris Rose. Like he retains so much knowledge about things, and anyone that watches the show understands that like you can just pull the 1978 All-Star game lineup out of your hat. Like you got one of those brains, Chris, and so does Dalton.
Yeah, I would never do that though on the spot. I think it was in San Diego. I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to go check that one. I want to say maybe Steve Garvey was the MVP. Just guessing.
Dan, check that out, please. That would be awesome.
I don't know. We'll have to see. Anyway, let's get to it because it was another busy weekend. We're running out of weekends to talk about because we are closing in on September. Oh, the good stuff. We are just getting to it. Start off with the tip of the cap, and it was kind of a heart warmer in the city of brotherly love. The Philly fanatic playing the role of escort to bring back this Navy officer to be reunited with his family. At first you look at it, you're like, oh, there must be a great skit that the fanatic's about to do. And then you see this and you're like, oh my God, they're tugging at my heartstrings again.
About every week I get fed a video of something like this, somebody that was deployed coming home to their family, and I cry like every single time. There's just something emotional about it. And, obviously we just give our thanks to everybody that's serving. It's that's a cool video right there, Chris.
It's a great one. It's a great one. I love it. Every team that does it. But for the fanatic to have a helping hand here, just kind of added a little something special.
It was a little scary. That was a little scary on the front of that four-wheeler.
I know. I was like, yo, hey, hang on, please. What are we doing? Like, it's one thing if you're riding.
He's probably been through worse.
Yeah, true. But it's one thing if you're riding it backward and you're hanging on. It's another thing if you're forward, because if you lose your balance, it's not like the fanatic's got much reaction time.
Man.
Just saying. All right. Speaking of, Cal Raleigh certainly knows how to make an entrance.
Cal, blast off, left field, there it goes! Cal Raleigh! His 49th home run! Storybook season by Cal Raleigh. He has done it! The most home runs all time in a single season by a major league catcher. Once in a lifetime kind of stuff from Cal Raleigh.
You ain't kidding. I mean, once in a lifetime. So he breaks Salvador Perez's single season home run record by a primary catcher. And he does it with a month to go in the season. I know that it's been a little sluggish for him the last 6 weeks or so. But still, now that he's here, what do you think?
I mean, I think he's been incredible to watch all season long, and he's done it in like a stoic manner as well. Kind of, the thing about the Mariners, Chris, is obviously they'd be nowhere near where they're at without Cal, but I think he's just like got his he's grinding right now, understanding kind of like where they're at in the playoff series. I feel like he has no time to sit back and relish in what he's done. Because he's still trying to get his team to the playoffs. Like, not just trying to have his team win the AL West, he's trying to make sure his team is in the playoffs in this amazing run that he's had. So I feel like he hasn't even had a chance to think about what he's done. He's just got there, got the pitching staff ready, and went out and played ball every single day. It's been awesome to watch. And as you know, we met him at the All-Star game. Just an incredible person.
Yeah, so I had him on Rose rotation. We saw him at the All-Star game, and I saw him about a week later when I was doing dugout discussions and just grabbed him for a few things. And he is, I think, part of what adds to his game is his remarkable consistency with who he is. Like, there is none of this. There is zero up and down. And I think for catchers in particular, you really have to be that way because you can't be 1 for 21 and bring that onto the field. The number of catchers I've talked to who say they have to have almost the memory of a defensive back in the NFL, where if you are struggling in one area, it doesn't matter. The minute you set foot back on that field, you have to wipe it clean because your number one job is to get that guy through the next inning.
Yeah, and pitchers will let you know if they sense that you're bringing the offense onto the field. And we used to have a guy, I forget who it was, and pitchers would complain about when he would go through offensive slumps, he would just throw fastball, like wouldn't really think about sequencing as much as he did when he was performing well offensively. So the pitchers will let you know, and you cannot do that. You can't just say, I got to separate my defense from my offense. It's like, no, the pitchers will be pissed at you.
So even with the record-setting performance that Cal Raleigh has put forward, Aaron Judge, I believe, is still a slight favorite to win the AL MVP. How interested are you over what will happen over the final month?
I'm very interested. I mean, I think it is a closer race than maybe a lot of people give it credit for, or maybe people are thinking Cal's the MVP. I don't really have a good feel on what baseball fans think. I think this really has everybody divided. I mean, Aaron Judge leads almost every single offensive category, except for home runs. But I mean, look at these numbers on the year, Chris. I mean, a 440 on base, 203 OPS plus. He's going to get back out into the field, which I know a lot of people are talking about now. Well, Judge hasn't been playing the field lately, and Cal Raleigh is a catcher, so that means something, and it does. Like, actually, I'm very conflicted on this one. I understand what Aaron Judge is doing offensively. It's incredible. He's now put together back-to-back two of like some of the greatest seasons we've seen from a right-handed hitter, even though he's missed some time this year. But then there's Cal Raleigh doing very, very impressive things behind the plate, and we understand how hard it is to do what he's doing offensively. So he means a lot to his team. I think this is going to be one of those times where we really say, okay, what about the value to his team? Who's the most valuable? And I'm conflicted. I still have Judge as my MVP, but Cal's definitely making a damn good case for it.
So the number one thing we have to remember is that as statistic-driven as this sport is, the votes are still cast by human beings. So here's some things that either will or should come into play, and I don't know exactly how to rank them. Number one is that Aaron Judge is a two-time MVP. So we've already seen him put up ridiculous numbers. We've seen him have, a 62 home run season where he set the American League record. So we've seen all that. So the fact that he continues on this track, some people, we talk about Ohtani fatigue, maybe they're getting a little Judge fatigue. Would you agree with that?
I agree. Yes, it's because
tough.
He's set the bar so freaking high. And I just actually looked. Cal Raleigh does lead the American League in runs driven in, which is a big thing.
It certainly can
Some
be.
people might not like that, but that's a big thing.
Number two, I know you talked about the Mariners. They're not holding the AL West lead, but they're only 2 games out, I think, so they definitely have a crack at it. Do you know the last time they won the division?
98.
Well, you're close. 2001, the year they had 116 wins.
I was trying to go for that year. See,
Right. So we're talking about a quarter century. So if he's able to be the face of the team, or at least the leader, because maybe Julio's the face of the team because of his energy and everything that he brings. But if he's the guy who boosts them with these sort of numbers, that's going to play a role in the voting as well. The other thing is that we talk about catcher and we just kind of gloss over it. Oh, yeah, he's a catcher. Dude, how many catchers have you seen that are dragging ass when they get to the end of August and September, where they can barely stand up, where their hands and feet look like somebody took a sledgehammer to them and they can't do anything? This guy, when I say he plays every day, you know how many games he sat where he hasn't done anything? 3.
3, okay.
3. He has played 128 out of 131 games. 30 of those are a designated hitter, 96 of those behind the plate. So he's going to end up catching 120 games this year, maybe even a little bit more. And then on days off, he still gets 4 or 5 at-bats. Like, that is stuff that is going to factor into the thought process of these voters. And I'm not going to get mad at him for doing it.
Yeah, it's going to be so interesting. Right now, Vegas, minus 155 for Aaron Judge, plus 105 for Cal. He started out as a plus 10,000. You could have bet $100 on Cal Raleigh to win the MVP before the year and won $10,000 if you did. That's pretty cool.
Let's say it right now. Who wins it?
You want to go on 3?
Yep.
Well, let's go on. Let's count backwards. In 3,
3,
2,
2.
1.
Cal.
Aaron Judge. Who'd you say?
I said Cal.
Oh, I said Judge.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. New school analytical people earmuffs right now. I think if you took away WAR and like the adjusted stats, like an OPS plus or something like that, or WRC plus, I think be like in the olden times, if you're just looking at like slash lines and you're looking at home runs, runs driven in, then you obviously factored in the position. I think Cal Raleigh wins in a landslide. I don't even think it's a discussion, but we do have those.
Yes.
We do have those numbers now. We have the data, and I think that helps Judge immensely in something like this.
I would agree with you. The reason I went with Cal, I think that the Mariners are going to win the division, and I do think that will play a role in the voting.
You think they're going to win the division?
I do. I think they are going to win the division. I think they're going to come back and put a burst together here at the end. And I'm not saying I necessarily agree with it. I don't know who I'd vote for, but I think that Cal Raleigh will end up winning it. That's what I think.
I think it's a win-win. I mean, we're seeing Aaron Judge, one of the greatest hitters we've ever seen play this game, and we're obviously in awe of him. And then we're getting to see an all-time season by a catcher. So, yeah. I mean, you can't really go wrong.
Yeah. All right. In the meantime, we've got a month to go for everybody in the regular season. And the NL West, it is even Steven.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Padres win. Tied atop the NL West. Dodgers will lead Betts at third, the tying run, and the Padres win. Freeman hits it hard again, deep to the right field corner. Tatis is over, and he's found the seats again. Back-to-back innings with a bomb for Freddie Freeman.
With 31 games left, you're tied for first place in the division. If we'd come to you at the end of spring training and said, this is the position you're in on this day, what would you have said?
Sounds about right.
That, of course, Padres skipper Mike Schilt. Pretty good. So we got 74 and 57 for both the Dodgers and the Padres. They're done for the year. San Diego wins 2 of 3 down at Petco. Electric atmosphere. Dodgers crushing the season series. They take 9 of 13 games this year. Let's ask this question. Which of these teams is it more important for them to win the division and get a bye, if applicable?
I think it's LA. Just because of the expectations that they had, if they find themselves not winning the NL West after like all the things that were said about them, all the moves they made in the offseason, they assembled the quote unquote super team in the big leagues. People were upset. Like they were ruining baseball. If they don't end up winning the NL West and they got to go play a wild card series, I mean, they're going to host it, I'd assume, if that wasn't the case, they didn't win the NL West. But that's just, I think it would hurt the ego a little bit. We talk about the Dodgers not caring about the regular season. They're getting ready for the postseason. They ain't getting ready for a 3-game set. Like they want to win the NL West. They want to have a bye. They want to get ready for a full 5-game set and then into the 7s. Like this is not something that they would expect. And I think it would be jarring for them if they had to play something like that. So I think it is more important. The Padres, I feel like they'd love to win the NL West, but if they had to go play a 3-game set, I feel like they'd expect it. Like, I mean, maybe they didn't expect it, not in the clubhouse, but I think if you talk to fans around, their fans, they'd say, hey, this is fine. So I think it is LA just because of the ego thing going on. They never in their wildest dreams would they think about having to host a wild card set.
Yeah, I think it's more than just an ego thing, though. I think it's important for a team that feels a little oldish, that has a rickety bullpen. The more games, the more you're going to be tested, the more uncertainty you have. The strength of the Padres is that they have 5 guys. I know that Estrada got lit up on Sunday and has not pitched well against the Dodgers, but against everybody else, he's been really, really good. So they have 5 guys that they feel great about, right? They've got Morajón, Miller, Adam, Estrada. I think I'm forgetting one other guy. Suarez. Yeah. Suarez, who of course closed out Friday night's game. So they've got 5 guys where they don't have to use all 5, let's say, in a row every day. that they can kind of space it out and still feel like if you play a tight series, let's say a 3-game wild card series, a lot of teams have to use the same guys over and over, and they're biting their nails if they do it a third day in a row. I don't think San Diego would get put in that position. So I think they're built to make a deep run, even if they have to go the wild card route. Now, we do have to get this out, that right now, even though these teams are tied atop the West, it's the Phillies and Brewers that would have the buys.
That's
right
true.
Now. It would not be the NL West champion.
Very true.
So
I also think you're totally right about the 3-game set for the Dodgers in particular, because they don't have that bullpen that could cover. You know how important that first game is in the 3-game set. If one of the starting pitchers is shaky early on, like you got to have a hook and you got to get him out of there. And you could use the Dodgers quote unquote good bullpen in that game, and then we'll see how they respond the next 2 days. It's 3 days in a row of playing. They do not have that bullpen depth the way that the Padres do. You're totally right about that.
So the top wild card does get a home series, right?
Yes.
Because it goes 3-6, 4-5. There better be some home games in San Diego. I don't care whether it's as a division champ or wild card. I just want to see that setting again. I just love it. I think it is electrifying. And I love it, particularly when there's night games there. Place is rocking and rolling. I seem to say this every other week on this show, and I'm not going to back down from it.
Yeah, the Dodgers and Padres have the 4th best record in the National League. So the division winner would host a wild card, and the other team would not.
As of right now, still got a month to go. Let's see here. 2 other things. I mentioned that San Diego in 1978 hosted the All-Star game. I nailed that one. I looked it up. And Steve Garvey was the MVP.
That's incredible.
Sorry.
I couldn't even remember what year the Mariners won 116 games.
It's okay. It's okay. We each have our strengths, and that's what we bring to the table. Other than that,
American history guy.
See, this is the problem. I actually had a history teacher that wrote on one of my report cards that if Chris paid as much attention to history as he does to sports, he would be a way better student. Here's the joke. He used to pitch in the big leagues.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I actually used that to my advantage, and I won a speaking contest at school. I won the big speaking contest talking about being a sportsaholic. And so I used that line and got him.
Love that for you.
Late great
Who
Chuck
was it?
Selbach.
Shout him out.
The late great Chuck Selbach. I talked about him on this show when he passed away within the last couple of years. So, yeah, he wrote one of the great report cards for me. That was good stuff. One other thing in San Diego, Ohtani, 45th homer. There had been a guy right next to the Dodger dugout that had been chirping him the entire game, going after. So what does Ohtani do after circling the pillows? He goes over to dude, and he daps him up, gives him a high five. Yeah, how you doing, brother? Dave Roberts loved it afterward. Is Ohtani being too nice? Should he have done something else here?
No, I love it. That's exactly what you should do as an opposing player. And I do want to have this on record, okay? Because I don't think you can say this about all the fan bases, and I can't, I guess, overly generalize, but I haven't met a bad Padres fan yet. Like, they love their team. They're very, vocal about their teams. But like, I feel like every Padres fan that I know that's an actual Padres fan is like a nice guy.
Oh, it's about to get lit up in our comment section. I can tell you that.
I'm being serious. I don't know. Again, I haven't met every single Padres fan. The ones that I interact with are great. That place is great. And like, I don't know. Have you heard? Has there been bad things happening around the stadium from Padres fans after these games? I haven't heard any of that. I don't know.
All 30 venues are going to have moments.
Sure.
Where people will have stuff on video, fights between fans.
But here's the thing. Around San Diego, everybody's like walking around the stadium after the games as well. So they let 40,000 people out onto the streets. And like, I've done it a couple different times, been down there, and it's just been like a wonderful atmosphere.
Good. I'm happy to hear that.
So shout out Padres fans. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Well, listen, you're going to get some pushback, and it is always ridiculous because we're we're usually talking about handful of fans when shit goes wrong and stuff happens. But
Hey,
I
can I also say
hopefully,
this?
what's that?
Dave Roberts got outmanaged by Mike Schilt
I
in
think
this
you'll get,
series.
I think you'll get pushback from Padres fans on that one.
Well, I'm
I
thinking of one instance in particular. It was the Conforto pinch hitting for your boy Miggy Rowe, our boy Miggy Rowe. Weird scenario. I don't know. Sorry. I feel like I'm picking on Dodgers fans right now.
No, you're not picking on Dodger fans. You're allowed to talk about all this stuff. Hey, Dodger fans are not happy. We talked about this.
And
If
then
Dave
leaving
Roberts hadn't,
Ledeski in, I think a little too long. I don't know. There was just some things I didn't like about it.
hey, if the Dodgers hadn't won it all last year, it's possible we're talking about a different manager leading their team right now. It's possible. Instead, Dave Roberts gets an $8 million a year extension as a 2-time World Series championship skipper. There's
Freddie Freeman get a cut of that?
He gets a decent cut as is.
He does, doesn't he? Freddie's got a good life.
He does, but he's earned it too.
Yeah.
He is a guy that is a grinder and does a lot of good things. Fun series. Maybe they'll meet in the playoffs somewhere.
Hey, Dodgers have the season series.
Yes, 9-4.
So that matters.
Absolutely, it does. Absolutely, it does. And you know what? It's always interesting to me when two teams punch their ticket to the playoffs with less than a week to go, but you're still fighting for the division and a possible bye to see how teams play it out down the stretch. And with not a lot of teams in the wild card, fighting for the wild card at this point in either league, we're going to need that sort of excitement, I think. We'll see. All right, we got much more coming your way from the weekend, but first, all right, before we get back to breaking down today's games, I want to talk to you about Moomoo. It's the trading platform I've been using lately. Look, we analyze player performance and team investments all the time on Baseball Today, but Moomoo lets you actually invest in the companies behind the game. Nike, Coca-Cola, the brands you see every time you watch baseball. Plus, you can trade crypto all on the same platform. Now, what really caught my attention is that over 26 million users globally trust Moomoo with their trades. The platform offers $0 commission on stocks and options. That means more of your money goes toward building your portfolio instead of paying those nasty fees. For newcomers, there are solid incentives right now. You can receive up to $1,000 in Nvidia stock with a qualifying deposit. They also have a cash sweep program that earns up to 8.1% on uninvested funds. That's actually outperforming the S&P 500's first half of 2025 returns. And for those of you in the New York area, deposit just $1. You'll get a free Moomoo Monday ticket to Mets home games. The tools are straightforward enough for beginners, but sophisticated enough for experienced traders. If you're ready to start investing beyond just talking about it, check out the link in our description or scan the QR code to get started with Moomoo's limited time offer. Now, let's get back to baseball. And we're going to circle around to the American League East, where the Red Sox ended up taking 3 of 4. New York escaped thanks to a pair of multi-homer games Sunday by Jazz Chisholm, who had a very, very trying weekend. He lost his best friend. Trent Grisham had a 2-homer game, so they took care of business on Sunday Night Baseball. But the Red Sox really, they took it to New York. And Trevor Story, like we barely mentioned his turnaround. He was fantastic, had another home run against New York. He's got an OPS of 999 against them. He's got 11 ribs, which is nearly twice as many as any other Red Sox this season. But both of these teams still trying to catch the Toronto Blue Jays, who unwrapped one of their new gifts at the trade deadline.
Oh, and how about that? Can't throw a fastball in a better spot than that. Strikes out for out number 2. Swing and a miss. And Shane Bieber just struck out the side.
So even though the trade deadline was about a month ago, Bieber made his not only Blue Jays debut, but his return to baseball for the first time since early April of 2024. Of course, he had arm surgery on a nasty elbow. You look at him, and I got to be honest with you, I know it's going to sound nuts. It wouldn't shock me if he ends up starting game 1 of whatever series the Blue Jays. Why are you laughing?
It's pretty crazy to think about that. I mean, when they made this trade at the deadline, we're like, what? This is your move? Like, this is what we're doing. You liked it?
I did. I actually liked it for both
this year.
Toronto
You liked
and
it?
Cleveland. Absolutely, I did.
I mean, all right, you were right then. I think I questioned it for sure, saying, hey, like usually when guys come back from injury like this, like it's not pretty and like they need some time. And so he's got an option. What does that even mean? You know, so it was cool to see him out there. And we talked about this a little bit yesterday. Me and Jake did a show with the mustache. Kind of seems like this is like the second half of his career. He's got the mustache. He's all grown up now, kind of look. But he looked great. And to add another like starter to the Blue Jays rotation, that rotational depth now I think is huge for them going into the playoffs. He looked awesome, man. That was really, really cool to see.
Yeah. And the Yankees, we keep talking about the Yankees and the Red Sox. Well, they kind of haven't made up any ground on Toronto at all. I mean, Boston's 5 back. New York is 5.5. Yes, weird things can happen in the last month of the year, but Toronto just kind of keeps moseying along and doing fine. And so let's talk about those 3 teams in terms of order that you think where they could actually appear in the World Series. Like who you like the most, then the second most, and the least out of those 3 teams to represent the American League in the World Series.
I actually don't think they're all far off. My rankings would be, if Bieber looks like this, which I think you have to throw that in there. If at the end of the year he's looking good like that, I'll probably go Toronto 1A, Boston 1B. I think they're very similar teams in regards to like a long lineup. They have rotational depth. They have a back in the bullpen they can trust. Like I think they're kind of complete teams. They both play a great outfield defense. They both got some guys, some veterans slugging for them. So I like both those teams almost on the same tier. I put the Yankees a tier below. And Dan, you can answer this one. Like, what would be? Let's say you got to throw 4 guys out there because you do in a 7-game set. Like, who are the 4 starters they're throwing out there? I don't think they can rely on them as much as the other 2 teams can. And Schlittler, right?
Dan says that Fried, Rodon, Heel, and Cam Schlitter.
I think they'd feel the worst about their starting pitching out of these 3 teams.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's probably a fair assessment. For me, the one area where I still shudder a little bit if I'm a Toronto fan is the back end, right? Hoffman has been fascinating this year. March, April, great. May, the dumps. June, we're back up. July, not good. August, really good so far. So that means if you play it, maybe shitty September, and when we get to October, he's back. Heck, even with the Phillies, like if you go look at the series that he pitched in, I think he pitched in 2 playoffs for them. I think he went like good, bad, great, horrible. So he's maybe you just got to play the biorhythm game with him. Here's the one thing I will find interesting is that the Blue Jays do have 6 starting pitchers that they feel comfortable throwing out there. If they end up winning the East and they end up getting a bye, they're only going to need 4 of those to start games. So which 2 do you deploy as major bullpen pieces? Lauer, I think, is an obvious choice. And then which of those right-handers do you say is not going to start a game and can be critical where maybe he pitches twice or even 3 times in a 5-game series? Like that, whoever it is could be a major weapon out of the bullpen and needed.
Looking at the guys right now, I think it's probably Lauer and Bassett. I think Bassett has like the funk that come out of a bullpen that makes sense.
That's what it feels like. And boy, Bassett would be fascinating because doesn't he throw like 8 or 9 pitches?
Yes. So he's a deceptive type pitcher. I think that works out of the bullpen where you're only going to see him once.
Interesting. Hey, one other quick note about the Yankees. Anthony Volpe was benched Sunday night. He did come in as a defensive replacement. He's not expected to start Monday against the Washington Nationals, but returned to the lineup on Tuesday. He continues to just have a terrible season at both the plate, where he is one of the least productive hitters in all of baseball among people that have enough at bats to qualify, had his league-leading 17th error as well over the weekend. At this point, should they just kind of make him a bench player, or do they have to ride it? Like, why does he have so much rope?
I don't really know, Chris. I think they've just kind of had his back, and now like they're feeling like, hey, it's August 25th. We can't really send this guy down to the minor leagues. They're about to end. So, yeah, I honestly don't know the answer to this one. What do you do? They've put themselves in such a pickle. I think a lot of Yankee fans think, yeah, like let's just have him as a bench piece. I don't know about a defensive replacement bench piece. That just hasn't been his calling card this year. Maybe it wakes him up a little bit. Guy's won a Gold Glove before, but it hasn't looked that way this year. So yeah, I best thing for the team right now probably to have him on the bench. I don't know if they're going to do that.
I don't either. I think they have to strongly consider moving on from him in the offseason. This is 3 years now, 3 full years where he's had every crack at it. And I don't see it. And for God's sakes, could you imagine if his defense or his inability to come up clutch in the playoffs is something that costs this team come October?
Let's
put it this way. Do you think they have mismanaged him? Do you think they have done him a disservice by not sending him down earlier in the year and say, it's okay? Yeah. Feels that way.
Dude, here's the thing. You could count probably on at least for me, the guys that I played against, like maybe 2 hands, the guys that come up to the big leagues and never go back down. It just doesn't happen. Like you think it does. You think guys just come up and they're in the big leagues. It doesn't happen. Like it's the big leagues is tough. Like sometimes you do need to go down and work on some stuff. It's very difficult to do it at the big league level. You can go take a month, even though you don't want to. It sucks. It really does. But it can be for the best. You go down there, there's no pressure. You don't have to worry about making an error in being on, our show or talking Yanks or whatever. You can go down there and just kind of be yourself and figure some things out. I think they should have done it a long time ago. And I guess I was thinking, like, is Caballero just going to be the guy? Can he play short well enough? And I think he's defensively can, and then like try to get on base and steal and do your thing on the base pass.
Yeah. I mean, there's other guys that are paid in the Yankees lineup to go carry the offense. I just always want somebody that can make the routine play and doesn't make me hold my breath, especially when you get to October. It's pretty simple, in my opinion.
As far as outside of average, Jose Caballero has been one of the better players in the league for the last 3 years.
There you go. Pretty simple. We just solved your problem. So AL East fans, let us know 1, 2, 3 order of best suited to make the World Series out of Toronto, Boston, New York, and then fill that out and let us know. Do you think that Volpe's been mismanaged, and what do you do with him the rest of the year? The guy still has some pop. It's not like, he's got close to 20 homers, doesn't he? So have that coming off your bench. It's not a terrible thing if that's the direction you go. So, all right, let's talk a little bit about this. And that is on the heels. I know that you guys talked about this Friday. Samuel Basallo getting the 8-year extension. Well, Bob Nightingale of USA Today now says that Adley Rutschman is going to end up on the trade block, that he's going to be the biggest position player that will be available. Number one, do you think that's accurate? And if so, how shocking a turn of events is this?
I mean, it's a shocking turn of events. There's no doubt about that. We were just, talking about Adley Rutschman as the cornerstone for the Baltimore Orioles franchise. And this is a team that was supposed to ascend and be one of the premier teams in the league. Didn't happen this year. I don't think it's going to happen. The Orioles trading Adley Rutschman at like a low point doesn't make much sense. Maybe you put Basallo at first base. Maybe you put Adley Rutschman at first base. I don't think there's some pressing need to move on. Like there is room for these guys to play. You don't have to just. It's not like they both don't fit on the roster. They can both do it. So I don't think he's going to be traded unless the Orioles, I guess, get blown away with an offer, which doesn't seem likely right now with the way Adley's played over the last calendar year. So I don't put a lot of credence into that. Maybe it changes if Adley starts playing well again and kind of gets his value back up. But to me, I don't see it happening.
Well, he's hurt again, so he hasn't even played 100 games yet this year. It's interesting. He was runner-up for Rookie of the Year in 2022 when he had a WAR of almost 5.5. Dipped to 4.3, 3.4 a year ago, and it's 1.7 right now. His OPS has dipped from 806 as a rookie to 684. He does have 2 more years of control, and we often talk about how there is a lack of offense at the catching position, so teams would be still very interested in him, particularly with 2 years of control left. So could they do it? Yes. I also saw Dean Kramer walk off the mound, a clip of him when Basayo was catching, and he looked at him and he was like, And he talked about it afterward. He said, listen, I wasn't mad at him. It's not his fault that I threw balls right down the middle. That's on me. But he added that, yeah, there's going to be a growth in a working relationship with these guys. The kid does not grade out great metrically behind the plate. Like, he could end up being a first baseman, and they'll get way above their value in terms of what sort of contract they just gave him. And that would work out fine. It's just that when you get that type of offense and have a suitable catcher behind the plate, then it makes your team even that much better, you would think. So there is the temptation of taking a bat that you think can be elite and putting him behind the plate. With all that being said, I'm really mixed on this one because I could see him getting traded, dude. I could easily see it. This is, by the way, this is the first guy that Mike Elias has given a contract extension to in Baltimore since he arrived in 2018. Is that right?
The last guy to get an extension in Baltimore was Adam Jones in 2012.
No, it's got to be Chris Davis.
That was a stat. That was something I read on MLB Trade Rumors after they signed Basayo.
Well,
so there's some sort of caveat to it. Was Chris Davis a free agent? It's like their own player, yeah.
He didn't get an extension while he was in Baltimore? That 100, isn't he still getting paid, Chris Davis?
Chris Davis is living a life, baby.
Oh, okay. So he hit free agency when he was with the Orioles.
Yes.
That's the difference. Chris Davis is what we're talking about. Okay. Fascinating. Listen, 18 months ago, there was no way we were having this conversation. And now I'm teetering about it. It's just, I feel bad for Baltimore fans. It feels like this thing went so sideways quickly.
Well, let me tell you right now. Quick, just run through. And Baltimore fans, let me know because you watch him every single day. 2023, he crushed fastballs, a 328 average. He slugged 578 against them. 2024, 272, 451. This year, 245, 431. The bat speed, not great. So, like, these are things that I think you can work on. Like, I think you can get back on time with the fastball and start hitting the fastball again. I think you can increase your bat speed. I think there's some mechanical things that Adley Rutschman can do to get back to becoming, a premier hitting catcher like he was. Like, so maybe teams are interested in that by buying low. But if I'm the Orioles, I say, hey, man, like, let's get in the lab this offseason. Let's fix some things. Yeah. It's hard to do that during the regular season when he has to focus on doing other things. He struggled with some injuries this year. So, like, I guarantee you could get a lot out of this guy still. Like, there's no way to give up on Adley Rush right now. Like, get in the lab and fix the dude.
Yeah. They've already got their Cy Young candidate for 2026 and Trevor Rogers. Maybe you bring back a great catcher, too. It's an incredible story. It really is. Maybe we'll talk about him at some point. We should. But first, I want to talk about this. That today's episode is sponsored by Mando. Hey, right now, I'm on the road. I have been on the road so much since June. A ton. And that means that you're packing. That means that you're like, oh, man, I got to run to the store because I forgot this and that. Just your everyday goodies just to make your appearance better. Well, that's why I started packing smarter with Mando. Mando's 4-in-1 acidified cleansing bar. Shampoo, face wash, body wash, deodorant. It's all in one bar. It simplifies your whole hygiene routine. Saves space in your bag for the fun stuff. As somebody who's tried it, I can tell you this stuff works everywhere. We're talking about pits. We're talking about thighs. We're talking about, those awkward spots. You got it. Well, Mando's starter pack, it's perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, like mini body wash, deodorant wipes, and free shipping. And as a special offer for our listeners, new customers get 20% off site-wide with our exclusive code. Use JMBaseball at shopmando.com for 20% off site-wide and free shipping. I'll spell it for you. SHOPMANDO.com. Please support this show. Tell them we sent you. Mando's got you covered. Protect your pits. Smell great while doing it. You'll feel better, too. All right. Ton of stuff to get to. So we're going to call this little section Read and React. So we'll just go for it quickly. Phillies, they have lost their ace for 6 to 8 months. Zach Wheeler, thoracic outlet syndrome surgery. That is a big-time bummer. How much does it crush their World Series title hopes?
I mean, it doesn't help them whatsoever. It takes them down a peg for sure, because this is the guy you're counting on starting, games 1 and games 4 for you. Mm-hmm. So that's huge. They do have rotational depth, so this doesn't crush them like it would some other teams, but it sucks. The good news is, I guess there's 2 different types of thoracic outlet surgeries and blood clot forms. One's neurologic and one is venous, and he has the good one, or the better option of it, because thoracic outlet syndrome surgery has basically derailed a lot of pitchers' careers. This one, I guess you can come back from a little bit easier. Merrill Kelly went through it, and he's pitched for quite some time after having the surgery. So that's the good news. And then I guess the other semi-good news is, I think they have rotational depth that they'll still be a formidable team in the postseason.
Yeah, it stinks. If I'm a Philly, if I equate it to another sport, it's like losing. It's the equivalent of losing like your top pass rusher. I'm not going to say quarterback, because your quarterback touches the ball every play, but your top pass rusher. And then it feels like there's a drop off. You might have other guys that are good, but it changes the entire way that the other team gets ready to face you. And he is such a beast, not just during the regular season. Go look at his October numbers. He's filthy, man. He's so good, and it might affect the way my bracket looks come October. I can tell you that. Get well, buddy. Willy Adames, really nice, warm welcome back in Milwaukee. It was great to see. He spent 4 years there, truly beloved by the fans, so touching on an emotional weekend. It was Bob Uecker Day on Sunday, tip of the cap. And so what happens to Adames when he steps to the plate and sees the very first pitch?
When he played for the Brewers, and he hammers that first pitch to deep left field, gone into the second deck. He got the standing ovation, and now he's getting booed.
I think he hit 2 homers that night, if I'm not mistaken. He was in the center of a lot of stuff, and there was such an emotional moment with him and the widow of Bob Uecker on Sunday when they celebrated the Hall of Fame voice of the Brewers. And just a terrific weekend for great fans. And for Willy Adames, who it's been a really tough first season for him in San Francisco, and he's owned every second of it. I was glad to see him smiling again.
Yeah, me too. I mean, that was awesome. Like standing ovation and first pitch, not even just like hit a homer. He leaned back on that thing, hit a bomb. So had to feel good. Giants ended up taking 2 of 3 from the Brewer crew. But yeah, tough season for him and the Giants, but a nice moment.
Things are getting a little more interesting there in the National League Central. Perhaps we will chew on that later in the week. Torey Lovullo, it's been a miserable season for his Arizona Diamondbacks, but he's always done a good job of keeping that clubhouse nice and fun. Here is the former major leaguer taking cuts in BP, but for a reason, and that is to determine the team's fantasy football draft order. I got to be honest with you. Torey can still swing it a little bit.
It's a nice swing right there. No wasted movement. I like where the hands are at in the firing position. Then bam, little load and go.
So if
bat speed's not there anymore. Torey, I feel you, bro. I feel you.
No bat
But the mechanics are still there. Me and Torey used to play together in an over-the-line tournament at Crespi High. Together.
Oh, yeah. You let in the guy from
too.
Even though he went to Montclair Prep, you let him in, huh?
I don't know why he was there. I'm not really sure. He must have had some sort of connection with our high school coach or something. He was always there. It was really cool.
We should do that. A managerial bracket. Who would win a home run derby in the managerial bracket?
Ooh, off the top of my head right now, home run derby winner managers.
Boone's got a shot.
Who's the guy in the White Sox? What's his name? Why am I blanking?
Will Venable.
Yeah. He's
Okay.
young.
Yeah, he is young. Yeah, he probably is your. Although I bet you Booney can still swing it a little bit. Maybe.
He looks young, but he's getting up there in age.
Yeah. Plus, when you are the manager of the Yankees, it's like the president. Like
Will
you
Venable,
age-
81 homers in his career.
How many
81.
for Boone?
No, Boone's got way more than that. It's Venable.
Oh, Will Venable. Yeah.
Yeah, who else is even in consideration for this?
Voter.
Oh, Vote will be good.
Yeah.
Boone,
Voter.
126 career homers.
Yeah. Voters in.
Okay.
Interesting. All right. Last thing. I want to give some pop to Steven Strum. He is the radio, I think, pre and post game host for the Miami Marlins. Well, he ran into Tyler Phillips, who gave us perhaps the post game interview of the year.
All right, Jack, thank you very much. Tyler, you threw 32 pitches yesterday. When did you know you were going in tonight?
When they call down.
And you were ready to go.
Yeah, I'm ready. They call down, I'm pissed off, I'm ready to go.
Why do you get so pissed off?
I don't like hitters.
How did you get through that ninth?
Throw the ball over the plate.
How long does it take you to cool down after a win?
I never cool down.
And the slapping, what was the level of slapping when you came on?
Pretty hard, my face is hot. Yeah.
I mean, I've watched it 5 times and laughed every time, man. It's funny. What? You're not? Oh, don't tell me you're not buying into the shtick.
You know I'm just not a fan. Like, I hate hitters. Come on, man.
Come on. You say it all the time.
The game is set up for pitchers to win 70% of the time. It's a joke.
Oh, my God. You can't laugh at that?
I don't know. It's pretty collegey to me.
We
If he
need
wasn't
more.
6'5", 250, I'd be saying something different. I'm scared of the guy.
Steven Strom was very, very good because what happens with a lot of people who interview for a living, when the answers are so short, they're not ready. And most importantly, they're not listening. And he listened to everything that guy said. So that was, to me, that's an A+ job by the interviewer. I thought it was fun.
Does this guy throw like cheese? I don't think he does, right? He was a starter for the Phillies last year, if I remember.
I mean, this is one of the first
How
times
hard does he throw? That's what I want to know. I'm going to go look it up right now because that matters to me.
Okay.
Because
So
you
that matters.
can't be slapping yourself if you're not bringing the heat. I'm imagining this guy throws cheese.
So what's the threshold? Do you
You
have
got
to
to throw
reach?
like 96 or higher.
Well, everybody throws 96 or higher when you come out of the bullpen.
Okay, he averages 95.4.
Ooh, didn't make your cut.
Close. He's close.
Didn't make your cut. Non-face slap. I want to know if people liked the interview or didn't like the interview. Or, you know what? Better yet, put a clip in there in our comments section about your favorite interview that you've seen in
All
baseball.
right, whatever. He's a big dude. He's whatever.
Now you're backing off. Typical. Typical. All right. Traveling back home tomorrow after my lengthy trip. So jolly. Yes, sir. Go ahead, caller.
You wanted to shout out one other guy, Jason Benetti, did the Lions preseason game straight to the Tigers game. We talked about him yesterday on Talking Baseball, but I figured you would like to mention that too. This is your
Yes.
guy, and
Yeah.
I feel like that's something you would do.
Well, I would love to do that. I don't call baseball, but yeah, I would love to do that. And he's the best around, in my opinion. He does it all. He's great. He's so good at it. And for people who don't know, the venues are right across the street from one another. And here's the other thing is that baseball, you don't need to be at your highest register all the time, action-wise. So those are two sports that could go together because there is a tempo to both of them. With the NFL, you only have to hit those high energy marks occasionally. So you can do it. It's a lot. So it just means that, you don't want to fall asleep in your salad in the 6th inning. When you're doing
I gave my award to him. I call it the timing award. He gets out of Chicago in 2023, gets right to Detroit. 2024 magical season. They have the best record in the AL this year. Now he's doing games for the Lions, who were the laughing stock of the NFL. before they made
Great
the
timing.
trade. Like, wow.
That's an amazing point. I have to bring that. I'm sure he thinks about that frequently.
I'm sure he does, because I think when I was doing the research for the award, like there was kind of like a bad breakup a little bit with the White Sox and him. So he
Sounded like it.
upgrade.
Yeah, if he had still been in Chicago, it'd be like a guy putting together a 40-40 season and finishing 7th in the MVP votes with his team, getting 68 wins.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. All right, Jolly Olive in for me tomorrow, and then I'll be back Wednesday, and we'll be good to go, hopefully, for the rest of the year. I feel good about that, I think, for the most part, travel-wise. So we are back at it again tomorrow. This show is. So for our one-of-a-kind producer, Dan Rourke, our awesome intern, Sawyer, that is the uber-talented Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose. Thanks for tuning in to Baseball Today, presented to you by Mountain Dew.